It was really important for us to have an early childhood pillar as a part of the Clifford Stoll Museums Institute because we value the contributions of our community members of all ages. And when we think about early childhood, we think about children from birth to 8 years old and their community that surrounds them. So their caregivers, their teachers, and other community members that play a role in their development.
So one of the motivations for starting the Institute was to really position the Still as a catalyst for new approaches to, artistic endeavors. We brought in people who learned so much and engaged deeply with our learning engagement team. And, we're going to be able to kind of share the work that we've done on collaborative projects with our communities, as well as our work in early childhood. We're doing work that really expands what we understand as the work of a museum.
I think of museums as social institutions, and they have an opportunity to model for others the potential that for that institution, or even to engage young children. So often in our society, young children are defined or marginalized or thought of as somewhat lesser than. I think that the museum really can model effectively the potential that young children have to really understand the world around them, express their ideas, and be engaged by objects and art in a way that we don't always consider. And so for me, that's a real gift.
I think the work that I am passionate about and that drives me is always thinking about whether or not people have a presence in a space that is truly authentic. So for me, I have moved away from using a term like inclusion to using this notion of being rightfully present. And when we think about rightful presence, we also think about all of the human or political, societal barriers that are in our way in order for us to authentically engage in a space. And so thinking about that question and trying to answer the question of what is the rightful presence of young children in a space that is traditionally made for adults, and what do we need to do to make sure that they have access and can participate in an adult-driven space like a museum. My project was about the rightful presence of young children with visual impairments and blindness at the Clifford Stoll Museum. So I honed in on one area or attribute of young children to kind of further my thinking and further the museum's thinking about access for young children at a museum. And driving that was this juxtaposition of an artist who works in the visual arts and someone who has limited vision or no vision at all, being able to access the works that are represented here at this museum. I think that even though I'm focusing on children, we can think about access for everybody who walks through the door and wants to experience the Clifford Stoll.
For me was first the idea of inclusivity, of thinking about museums for many different types of people, many groups, for all. That was an important consideration. And the other consideration was that there were projects that were not super well defined, so they gave the opportunity to the authors to experiment and create new ideas. That was part of my criteria for the selection.
There's this incredible spirit of reciprocity that exists in the early childhood pillar between our learning and engagement team here at the museum and also the Institute Fellows that we host every summer. Everyone is learning from each other and really enhancing each other's work. And that has ripple effects way beyond the museum and Denver's walls into the field of early childhood and museum practice.